Welcome to Sitting with Shay J. In honor of Women's History Month, we're spotlighting women who are making history, breaking barriers, and paving the way for future generations. Today, I'm highlighting an industry where women, especially women of color, remain a vast minority. But right now, I have the majority. So a woman whose journey is full of resilience, innovation, and leadership. She is truly changing the game. Welcome, my one and only good friend, Amanda Gordon.
Yay! Woo,
you're not my only good friend, but you're,
right.
Yeah, you know.
I would hope not.
No, me too.
Shay J.
Okay, I would hope so too. I'm so excited to have you here, Amanda. You are truly building a legacy, and I love to see the legacy being built in our hometown. Can you tell me what was the beginning of this first step for you? What allowed you to really say, I'm going to do this?
So first I have to give you your flowers. Oh. You and I go way back, and to see you on this stage and to be on your show, it brought tears to my eyes when I pulled into the parking lot. So congratulations to you, Shay J, this Women's Month. Just being here with you as your friend is amazing.
Thank you so much. See, women giving each other flowers is what it's about.
Yes.
Happy Women's History Month.
But truly, it's an honor to
for
be
this upcoming school year, and it just helps our schedule. So
I love that. You got to find effective things that work for your household. I think that's so important because we know parents, you're overloaded as well. So we want to be mindful of how we can help you and support you during this time. As we look at these experiences these youth are having, and parents that are really looking for support to manage the stress and anxiety. I know I have a nephew that's going into high school, and this is his first year, and he has high anxiety of like, what is high school like? Can you give a tip on how we can really help them with this anxiety that they're feeling going into these new school years?
Just being excited for them, having the conversation and being a better listener, and just encouraging them to network. They're on their journey of, becoming a better student, going from a teenager into adulthood, and it's a fun time. And one thing you can't do is, there's no repeats, right?
Ooh, so, there's no repeats.
In terms of age,
In terms of age, right. There's no repeats.
Yes.
I love that. That's one of the things I said, like, enjoy this time. It's, that fresh new beginnings where you're like, I don't know anybody. And then later on you have this tribe. And it's like, enjoy the moment.
Absolutely.
Because they go by so fast, trust me. When we think about social preparation and the struggles with friendship and social dynamics, we know that school is one thing. But when we look at those dynamics and when you're looking at these educators and parents, what are some of the things you guys are using to help students find their tribe and find where they belong? How do we help them navigate the system?
Yeah, I think coming from a parent perspective, it's just good to have good communication and dialogue with your child. Again, encouraging them to make new friends, and then also trying to cut back down on screen time.
Actually do something.
From hip hop to writing books to law, you're really inspiring someone out there. Now, I know some of my young Black and brown children are sitting there that may not have this example, but what advice would you give them if they're interested in becoming lawyers or becoming a part of the law? What advice would you give them?
Read.
Oh.
Be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Know what's going on around you. Care what's going on around you.
Serve in the community's interest.
Wow, I love that because it's so necessary. I see a lot of people that come out of training from your program and how they actually thrive because they feel comfortable in their skin and in their leadership abilities. So I love to see that. When I look at the Urban Leadership Foundation, I know you have several programs. Can you tell us about some of those key programs and what some of those skills are that you come out with?
Yeah, our marquee program is our ULF Connect program. It's a 10-month leadership development program where we take 30 to 40 participants on this 10-month journey. They get about 30 sessions, and we're focusing on interpersonal leadership. We're focusing on mental wellness and mental.
Still connected with the folks that they have connected with years prior. So it's an ongoing thing, and watching the confidence of these kids, I can talk for hours on them.
I really hold a special place for when a youth is able to be the fullest version of them. When they're able to be poured into to say, I can show up authentically and not be ashamed of that. So you helping these students along the way doing this.
It's nonprofit world.
I appreciate you saying that. When we think about really recognizing the contributions of Latinas, sometimes I feel like people discredit why that's so important. Can we talk a little bit about why that is critical?
Yes. Let's do
it.
I think there's this misconception that women of color, in this case Latinas, that we're just coming into these spaces, that we are just becoming, CEOs, we're just becoming presidents. And history is that's not true.
Not at all.
We have been here, and we need to continue to highlight.
And in high school, but like, look at this and look at where it's going to lead you. And here's different organizations and programs you can get connected into that'll help you get there faster and further and smoother, right? Because hey, life is a rough road, and so if we can get there a lot, you know, floating like a Cadillac, it'd be a lot easier.
I love that. I think mentorship can be a great catalyst to getting there a lot faster,
Seriously.
right? And then have an idea of what you really want to do once you see someone else doing it.
Right.
When we're looking at, you know, students that are currently in high school and they're thinking about their future, thinking about college, and thinking about career paths, what piece of advice could you give to those students that are at home still thinking about it, not quite sure if college is for them?
Learning and understanding, and now I'm in that position to kind of make those things happen. And it's just to say that thing and just be sitting here with you. And I don't think people know that we're really good friends, and you've seen the things, the transformation in me as a person, and then just you know, the things that I do in the community and have been doing for a long time. So I really appreciate you. We can joke and laugh, but you are really a person who has been there and helped. You know, like I said, when it's cold, when it's inconvenient, when you have other things to do, Shay J is there. So we really appreciate too. We got to do something.
Appreciate that.
We might have to give you a plaque or
A
something
little
this
plaque
year.
or
Like
something.
little
This is what community is all about.
Something like that, right?
This is why I built this show. Sitting with Shay J is really about community, right? Sometimes we don't get to see the inner workings of the things that are happening. We see all the things that are happening in the news that are not so great. We see the things in community that are not so great. So when we can sit down and say, wow, look where we've came from to where we're at, and then we can say, we're still infusing this into the community. It's a beautiful thing.
But we also have a lot of fun where we make the connection between things not often thought of as STEM related and make that connection, i.e. cosmetology, which is all anatomy, genetics, math, science, even the culinary arts, again, math, science. You know, when Kennedy was a little thing, my daughter, who's now 22, and we'd sit there and I'd say, here's a glass of white milk, here is red ketchup. I'm going to pour the red ketchup into the white milk, and I'm going to, she said, pink, and I said, science. She said, yes. So that's
making science cool. That's what we
fun.
need.
Making it fun.
So distant, wow, this is informative. You know, as a health specialist, are there some preventative measures or maybe lifestyle changes that women should implement to really make sure that we're having our optimal health throughout different stages of our lives?
Well, diet and exercise are a huge part of it. You want to maintain a healthy weight. You certainly don't want to smoke. And then exercise is really, really good. Exercise is really good for our brains, for our mental well-being. It's good for women's bones. We're at risk for developing, you know, severe bone loss as we age.
That's a real thing. We've got to value people. Now, you've also been actively involved in creating a safer space for BIPOC women, which I have to say I love. How do you really think storytelling, like your podcast, Resilience and Resistant, how do you know that storytelling really helps destigmatize mental health discussions for diverse groups of women?
Yeah, I think that primarily it's about the normalization.
But being an expert in this market, I know how to navigate it. So the challenges that we face, we have to just learn how to navigate those, and that's what I've been doing in real estate.
I love that because it is a navigation. Now, I know that you have to really look at home ownership as a tool, and we talk about building generational wealth. Why is this the key to building generational wealth, especially in communities that don't have that type of access?
Yes. Oh, this is such a good...
I looked at a lot of that work, and I was seeing people that never really thought about voting. They were engaged, and I think that's what it takes. We don't care who you vote for, but make sure you take a part of what is your right, right? It's your right to vote and be a part of that. I often say you can't, you know, say that you don't like something that's happening when you haven't done the work to whatever your part is. You know, put your vote in, put something in, let them know what you're thinking here. I know we're coming up soon to this Freedom Gala. I'm extremely excited about this. I think this is going to be one of the greatest things that's happened, you know, in Colorado. We need these galas that are actually meaningful. We're talking about 115 years of legacy. This is amazing. Can you please tell me about the Denver NAACP Freedom Fund Gala? What can we expect?
Well, we're so excited, first of all, to be sharing 115